Hey, Rob here, hope you're well. This is the all-new Merida eONE-FORTY. Merida say that the specification and geometry on the bike make it perfect for trail riding, but also for long distance rides. They're calling it a hugely capable and enjoyable SUV bike. So it looks to me that Merida have designed it to be able to take on long days out. It's got a comfortable riding position, 140mm travel, so it should be capable for some nice technical trails too. It's a bit less extreme than their E160, which is made a bit more for enduro style, so it'll be interesting to see how this handles on some technical terrain. So I'm going to take it for a little blast around some of my local trails, little jumps, and see just how it handles. So we'll take a quick look around the bike. The frame is based on the new E160, it's the same frame. Geometry is different, they've changed it up to make it fit. We'll have a look around. This is an XXL that I'm riding. And I gotta tell you, from my brief little rides around here, this is one sweet, badass, little poppy e-bike. It's just so agile, but we'll have a quick look and then we'll get into the ride review. Carbon frame, DT Swiss 1501 wheels, absolutely bulletproof. I've used these on a few bikes now, they are just bomb-proof. Cased many jumps, never had any dents or anything. The brilliant DT Swiss fork as well in 140. Now the way this fork works is it's got an 8mm coil for the initial part of the stroke and then the rest is air. So you get that super plush initial movement of the shock. It's so comfortable to ride, probably the most comfortable shock ever for regular trail riding because it takes away all of that chatter that you can get on some forks, and it's just so easy to set up. They've got an app, you just set and forget. It's brilliant, it's really neat. This thing here they call Thermogate, basically it's air vents. This is quite cool though. They say that they spent more time on this rubber thing here than they did on the entire e-bike. So basically, this comes down, it's really simple, it's quite a neat design actually, and the battery's in there, it's the BT8035 battery. There's a tiny little tool that you can take out, I won't do it now, but it's just in the rear axle, it just pops the battery out, it's really neat, it's quite a small compact battery. Now the only thing with the bike is it only takes a 500 watt hour battery. And you know, some people that's absolutely fine. For some people they might want a little bit more. Merida say you can just stick another one in the backpack. I don't know. It's down to you, decide how much trail riding you actually want to do. Shimano E8000 motor, XT drivetrain and XT brakes, which are absolutely awesome by the way, with those, I think they're Ice Tech rotors, really good. I've got this chunky Crudguard XL fender for the weather. See how much stuff it just saves getting all over your bike, and actually that stops it going in all that kind of stuff for the battery. Fox DPS shock, and it's got quite an aggressive downslope, hasn't it? If you look at the tube, the way it kind of just slopes down quite aggressively, it's got a real distinctive look to it. The on button, I just love it when the on button is on here. It seems so simple, but in the past I've ridden e-bikes that have got on buttons underneath there and it's just really difficult. Merida bars, nice little E8000 control, and what I like about it is the speed controller wire actually goes in the bars and it just pops out there. You see that? It's quite neat, just saves an extra little wire. So you can imagine if you went wireless on this, it would look quite minimalist. Tool kit just under there, that just pops off. And then you can see you've got a little tool kit under there. 29 at front, 27.5 on the rear. Comes with Maxxis Minion DHF DHR. So I rode the bike for a couple of days around my local trails, trail centres, even hit a couple of jumps, and I gotta say, I was not expecting the bike to perform anywhere near it did. Going from a 180mm travel bike that I've been riding for a good month or so, I thought getting onto a bike with 140 at the front and 133 at the rear would just not be enough, but It was so capable on my local trail centres, and not just was it capable in terms of the ability to take hits and go over the rougher stuff, the agility and the poise and the way that the bike moves around, it's so agile and so playful. And I know those two terms are used quite a bit in mountain biking. I gotta say, this is probably the closest to a regular mountain bike, electric bike, that I've ridden so far. And I see where it fits up in Merida's lineup. They've got the E160 with 160mm travel at the front for bigger, I guess more enduro style riding. But if you're riding trails, single track and long days out, this is the bike that probably you want to look at. It's not the lightest e-bike, weighing in at just over 22 kilograms with pedals, but the geometry and the way they've set it up with the 29er on the front and the 27.5 at the rear, with that poppy Shimano motor, just make for a really sweet handling trail bike. And I had a lot of fun on this bike, and to me that's what mountain biking and getting outside is all about, having fun on your bike and feeling good, and this has that feel good factor to it. The bike was far more capable than I thought it would be. I thought that the 140 travel, it would come unstuck a little bit more, but let's not forget 140mm travel is still pretty good as a trail bike, and that's what this bike is being marketed at. The trail rider who wants all-day comfort. It's not a super aggressive bike in terms of geometry, but it's an all-round great trail bomber. And actually it climbed pretty well, and I had a good couple of days, and then the performance of the bike just really surprised me. It was such a good fun bike to ride, and I really enjoyed my time on it. I was not expecting that bike to feel like that. The geometry is sorted, the weight is getting right down, and this just feels like a super sweet little trail ripper. I was pleasantly surprised, as you could probably tell. I didn't expect it to feel like that. And some of the stuff that I was hitting, yeah, it's not big, it's just trail center, little jumps and stuff like that, but the rear suspension linkage, it was pretty supple off the top, and I didn't really bottom it out. And that DT Swiss fork is super supple, just right on the top, and then it's got some real good mid-stroke support. It's the top of the range one, it's their 7 grand one. It's really comfortable, it's not super slack, so it's got a nice pedaling position, and with that real supple suspension, it's built for comfort, and Merida say it's built for all-day rides, but if you want to hit some trails, it can totally do that. It's a really capable trail bike. Now, a couple of things, a couple of downsides, I guess. It's only got a 500 watt-hour battery, and if you ride solo or you do shorter rides, or you're pretty fit, that might not be so much of an issue. I like to have a bigger battery personally, because we do a lot of group rides, so 600, 700 watt hour means that you don't have to fear that the battery might run out. Now, Merida say you can just get a replacement, pop it in a backpack. It is quite a compact battery, just something to consider if you're thinking about buying a bike. What kind of battery do you need? 500 watt in all the Meridas, and in fact most of the Shimano bikes are 500 watt batteries. And the only other thing, it's real subjective, is the color. It just didn't really do anything for me. It's just kind of grey and dull and a bit boring, but the bike is not a boring bike to ride. Bike makes you feel good. It's really poppy, really agile, playful, and I know that word playful is used a lot in mountain biking, but this really was. All down to the geometry, the travel, and it just felt like a good, solid bike. So let's pop it on the e-bometer. Last year's 2018, this is the 2019-2020. It's going here, man. It's I really enjoyed it. If you're looking for a real comfortable bike that you can ride for long distances, pretty good at climbing, but also has the ability to hit trails and take on a bit more technical stuff, then definitely take a look at this one. I really liked it. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.